Hello there, shavelings. I am having technical problems out the wazoo today, so I hope I managed to make this video. I just wanted to first remind you that at 9:45 a.m. Central Time, I will be speaking at the Houston Zen Center. The link is below on how to find out more information on that. It's a lecture I'm going to do for an hour, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Also, I will be leading a retreat for the Angel City Zen Center, our fall retreat, which is available online for the first time ever. Ziggy, I'm just going to have to ignore him because I've restarted this video 17 times already to try to get it going. Anyway, we're doing a retreat and it's online and you can join it, and please join it because you should join it. You should have a retreat. Also, you can go to aczc.org for information about all our stuff that we're doing online. Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, yoga, Saturday mornings, we are doing stuff there, and people who say, I don't know how to join a Zen Center. It's never been easier. We're not the only ones who are online right now. Everybody's online. So join. Do it. Do something. Okay, so on Sunday I am going to talk about Dogen's Being Time, and I'm not holding up Dogen's Being Time. I'm holding up a book called The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli. This is a book I picked up at the recommendation of... who was it? Anyway, somebody recommended this book to me. Was it Judy Reutemann? Anyway, somebody recommended this book to me, and I'm really enjoying it, and I thought that this book might be useful in helping me find a way to frame some of the concepts in Dogen's Being Time for the folks in Houston and all over the world who might be tuning in. And a couple of nights ago I happened upon this chapter. I haven't finished the book, as you can see. That's where I am in the book. But this is chapter 6, as it says. The world is made of events, not things. And I thought that was a great way of framing it, and it's something I've kind of said before, and it's something Dogen said before, but just to see it from somebody whose background is the sciences rather than philosophy and Zen kind of adds something to it. So I'm going to give you a couple of quotes, or a few quotes that I copied down from that chapter that I think are really good. Here we go. Time, as Aristotle suggested, is the measure of change. So this is important. Time, in the Newtonian sense, is something that proceeds along regardless of change, that just kind of goes, and change happens within it, and maybe change is somehow driven by it, we don't know, but it's something independent. Well, Aristotle said that time is change. Change and time are the same thing. And this is being borne out by the sciences, which are saying that the time for one observer and time for another observer are not the same time. They do not proceed at the same rate. So, as the example I gave you, I think I gave this to you in the last video, time spent waiting in line for the Department of Motor Vehicles is actually longer than time spent playing with your puppy dog. Where did Ziggy go? Oh, you can't see him, but he's down here. Anyway, time is change. The entire evolution of science would suggest that the best grammar for thinking about the world is that of change, not of permanence, not of being, but becoming. Here's another one. The difference between things and events is that things persist in time, events have a limited duration. And then a little later in the same section, on closer inspection, in fact, even the things that are most thing-like are nothing more than long events. Things in themselves are only events that for a while are monotonous. And that is important because he kind of gives the definition of things and events as saying like an event is like a birthday or a sneeze or something, something that has a duration, and a thing is like a rock. But if you pay attention to a rock isn't really a thing, it's a kind of event. It's an event in the procession of time. The rock wasn't a rock a million years ago and won't be a rock a million years hence. But it is, let's see what he says, things in themselves are only events that for a while are monotonous. So we are events that for a while are monotonous. We are an event in the universe. I am an event in the universe. An event, hey, but I'm something that happens in the universe. I'm not a thing in and of myself that exists sort of independently of the other things and events that happen around it. And neither is little barking Ziggy who's sitting here or standing here barking at something. I don't know what. But that is what we are. And then he concludes the chapter with this line that I like. If by time we mean nothing more than happening, then everything is time. Which is what Dogen says in his essay Being Time Uji. It's coming at it from a different angle. It's coming at it from the Buddhist angle, which is informed by a lifetime of doing zazen rather than a lifetime of doing research into, scientific principles and doing math and all this stuff. But the conclusion is roughly the same, that everything is time. You and me are time. So time is change. And what I am, in the sense that I think of myself as an entity, there is no entity. There is just a sequence of change. There is some sort of change that is going on. So I am time. Time is me and I am time. You are time. Ziggy is time. Where is he? He keeps nuzzling my knees here. We're all time. So everything is time, being is time. That is Dogen's contention. Now, there is another part of this that maybe I'll try to work on this for a while. But is there something that exists outside of time? Is there something which can be said to persist forever? And the only candidate for the thing that persists forever is now. Now is forever. It is always now. It was now when the last Tyrannosaurus keeled over dead, and it is now, and it will be now forever. And this now and our awareness of now are intimately tied together. If you look at the Advaita Vedanta tradition, they have a whole tradition of Atman to kind of ground this. And the idea of Atman has... Oh, look, there's some birds going crazy. Anyway, the idea of Atman has changed over the years, and it's not always the same. Like everything changes. So Buddha was very famous for denying Atman. Atman is this permanent, unchanging substance that lives in the body and departs the body when the body dies. He denied that, but there's another sense of Atman which is identifying it with the constant thing that is always present, this sense of I am, if we want to quote Nisargadatta Maharaj. So there is something I identify as myself, which persists over time even while things change. So, in my earliest memories, what's the earliest thing I can put a memory to? Probably watching the moon landing, the first moon landing. I remember watching it on TV with my dad. So that was 1969, which would mean I was 5 years old. Is that right? Yeah, I guess 5 years old. I can't remember anything specific before that. But I know that there was a sense of I am there. There was a sense of someone looking at that little black and white TV and watching the thing happen, watching the moon landing happen. And I can still feel that same I am now, even though everything else has changed. Even the atoms that make up my body, when I even say my body, it's kind of a misnomer, have completely changed. And so this process keeps going on. But there's something that seems to be experiencing this process without being this process. And that is a big philosophical question. And it's sort of where Buddhism and the Hindu tradition part ways. But it's arguable whether they part ways that much. It might be just a matter of having a different way of describing it. One useful way I thought of, or actually came from somewhere else, I didn't make this one up, to describe what we really are is to think of it in terms of a waterfall. I used to use the simile of a a whirlpool in the water, but I think waterfall it might be more meaningful to people, so maybe we'll use that for a while. And a waterfall, it's different water. It's been going on, some waterfalls have probably persisted for millions of years, and we can say there's that waterfall. It's Niagara Falls, or it's Victoria Falls, or whatever it is. We can give a name to it, and we can say, it's this and that, and we can talk about it and we describe it, but it's not the same. It's just a process. It's not the same water going over all the time. It's a continuing being. No matter how long it persists, well, I said it's a continuing being, but I meant it's not a continuing being. I'm not going to stop this, though, because I'm sick of dealing with these stupid technical problems that I'm dealing with all day. Anyway, so it's like a waterfall. So we're like a waterfall. The same water isn't going over, but there's something that persists, and something that you can sort of provisionally call me, but it isn't a thing unto itself. And it's time. Oh, okay, so that's the sort of thinking that's going into this talk I'm going to give on Sunday. Right now, I feel like this is going to be the worst talk anyone has ever given. So tune in for that reason alone, to see the worst talk on Zen that anybody has ever given. I would appreciate your support. And if you want to support me in other ways, you can support me by sending a donation to the link you are seeing below on your screen, hardcorezen/donate. So hardcorezen.info/donate. That's what it is. And if you're on YouTube, there are direct links to my Patreon and PayPal below the screen where you're looking at it. That is my main way of making a living, and your donations have really helped me, especially in the last few months. It's been great that everybody keeps donating, but if you're having financial trouble, don't donate to me, because I'm not that desperate, but it really does help. So thank you for continuing, those of you who are continuing. And have a good time all the time. See you later. Bye.